Well, good evening and welcome. Just moments away from the very first 10k here at Friday night under the lights. They're calling it a 10k smash up. These athletes getting ready to go. The path is clear. It's been busy with pedestrians all night, but they've sensed something big's about to happen. There's these gentlemen, just a small bunch here, and away they go then. So let's see how this 10k pans out. Like I said, the first of its kind here in Battersea Park. We've seen the 5ks many times now. And chatting to race director Ben and Keith, and just sort of getting an idea of why a 10k. And their response was, well, look, we're a week or so out from London. It's a chance, if London goes all Pete Tong, they'll have a good 10k under their belt, and they'll have a PB for all their hard efforts and all their mileage and all the training that they've done over the past few months and weeks. So I was fully supportive of that concept, and straight to the front already. The man in that grey Soar kit, I've heard Steve Gardner, production manager, we call him, was over to Soar HQ today. Picked it up after the 9 to 5. So it's a crispy strip, ready for Hessian to be wearing. He's looking very smooth, and he may have come here knowing that, well, there might be a chance I'm going to be out front. So let's see, he's moving very well already. So just to give you a bit of context, slightly different course to that 5k. We're looking at 4 laps in 523 metres. We start, as you saw, just before the bandstand, and we finish just after the bandstand on that left-hand turn just prior to that. And Hessian, well, he's in good nick. He's already run 14:09 this year on this very circuit. Trains with the cottage. Like I said, 14:09 already this year on this very circuit. That was just a couple months ago on that Friday night under the lights. So a quick glance at the watch to see just whereabouts he is. He's already got a gap. There's a big old group behind him. They don't fancy it yet. 10k is a different ball game to 5 though. And you do have to be patient. Well, look at that. The public are out there filming. Amazed, starstruck at the level of quality we have around Battersea Park. And as these men get going and settle into these early kilometres, we're not even at the 1 kilometre mark yet, to be honest with you. But as they settle in, just thought it's worth noting, Rose Harvey is scheduled to be down. We haven't seen her yet, haven't seen her in warm-up, haven't seen her on the park, but it was a busy park. What's to say she hasn't tucked in? She was a late entry as well, which makes it even more sort of theory behind she could well be here. And to prove her fitness ahead of obviously that Paris Olympic selection, London next weekend. She's not doing that. 2:23 marathon runner, currently sits 3rd in the British rankings on the road to Paris. She ran that in Chicago, but I'll cast my eyes back a little bit later on in the race to see if she's in there. We're a lovely group. Tom Austin settling in there. Well, transfer for him as well, change of clubs. Clapham Chasers, coached by Phil Kissy. Nice transfer. 67.11 last year over the half marathon in Wokingham. He got 3rd there. He's a bit of a road specialist. He's a man who knows a thing or two about carbon races as well. Worked in a shoe shop for many moons now. So all these men looking very smooth at the moment. Alex Kilby, Durham Uni, man from Walton AC as well. He's there, number 59, repping that Durham Uni vest. Looking smooth at the moment. We're on that back stretch, well through that first kilometre actually, and approaching that first mile. So I'll give you that mile split, perhaps a little bit more relevant for those old school athletes watching us this evening. So this event sponsored by Soar, and what are we, 8-9 days out from the London Marathon. 2 weeks time we're going to see the comeback 5,000s on the track as well. A few athletes chasing that European qualifying standard, so that's worth noting. If you're in town for that, get over to Battersea Park, because That is going to be electric. It's going to be a special, special night. Andy Bouchard coming all the way down from Scotland as well. So we are right around 30-minute tempo for this chase pack at the moment. Through that first mile, and just to clip outside 4:50. We know 4:48 is bang on that 30-minute tempo. So it's good to see Dom Nolan out there supporting a few of them. Fellow Battersea Park athlete training around here, Freddie. So he's got a gap of 9-10 metres or so, but he's completely on his own. And actually that chase pack are just settling in behind him and just feeling good now. So we'll try and get an idea on a few others in this race as well. Like I said, Tom Austin, Tom Butler's in there as well. Those two know each other well from their St Mary's university days. Number 64 there in the on singlet. Try and get a good idea on him. The pear tree, if you know it, absolutely jam-packed to the rafters today. Beers are flowing. I'm sure these gentlemen will earn a beer or two a little bit later on this evening, around about 20 minutes or so time. Ellis right on front. Ellis Gramazzi a little bit further back as well. So Hessian, what was just him out front is now two of them. So what? Three and a bit laps to go. That's one lap down. We're through that 2 kilometre mark. So Aiden Lennon sits his second, files in behind Hessian. I'm sure Hessian won't mind that. Lennon, a 14:35 man on his day. Southampton distance project. That's a distance runners, sorry. SDR coach that there with Steve Phillips. Do a fantastic job. Will Bryan, his teammate, a little bit further back in this race as well. So we'll try and identify him, but a 30:23 lifetime best, I believe, for Lennon. So in fact, he is a sub 30 man, 29:54. So he's been there before. He's been in this territory, and actually he's only 20 seconds down or so on Hessian over 10k. And in a sort of cat and mouse race like this, it'll be interesting to see how it develops over the next couple laps. So it's a lap down. We're going to be approaching that 3 kilometre mark. I'll give you a good split on that point. These gentlemen are bang on 30-minute tempo at the moment, and will they go stride for stride? Will Lennon just enjoy tucking in behind Hessian, not doing any work? Sometimes with athletes, when it's a two-horse race like this, you feel obliged to go, oh, you know what, I might help them out. We're in this together. I'll come alongside, we'll push the pace together, and we'll both get a good time out of it. And it depends what kind of athlete you are. Some ruthless racers out there will go, nope, I'm a racer, I'm here to win. I'm going to sit in behind and let you do all the work. But Lennon, towering figure over Hessian. And he's probably not feeling too much of a wind block down this straight past the bandstand. So we've got a two-horse race now here, and I fear it may stay like this over the next couple of laps. So exactly 3 laps to go now for these gentlemen. We'll give you a 3 kilometre split in just 100 metres or so. Tom Austin, Tom Butler, they're all in that second group. That's Terry Fawden as well, from Highgate, Cambridge University student. Very good athlete on the cross country, inside 9 minutes, 8:55 at 3k for these men then. So we'll look to check in with Hessian and Lennon a little bit later on as they run side by side for now. On the far side of the park, power station inside, 208 there. Kent AC looking very, very smooth. And we'll try and get a good idea. They're chasing down the race ahead as well. Tom Butler sitting in behind, Terry Ford and Tom Austin, Alex Kilby. Things just starting to break up a little bit now for a few of these men. Kilby just hanging on in there. They are all operating right around personal best territory. And we'll catch up with a few of these elite women. Good Wimbledon vest, Windsor Slough and Eton as well. Hugo Donovan, great run from him at the Windsor half. Rob Wilson.Highgate AC in that second group. Wilson on that Highgate team, on that Highgate 12-stage team, which got third at those road relays. Controversial third, may some people think. I know Cambridge have an opinion on that matter, on that race. So a few cottage athletes as well. They'll be chasing down this race. There was a slightly slower wave that went off before them. They'll be chasing them down over the next few laps. This is round about a group operating at 31 minutes and a half tempo, a lot of these gentlemen. And we're trying to identify that lead woman. We know she's in there somewhere. It could be Naomi Taschimowitz. There's Will Bryant, Southampton distance. Racers a little bit further back as well. So we're just patient. These men are filing through, flocking through at this stage, streaming the park. Everyone getting out of the way, just how it should be. They know Fridays mean one thing, and it's race time in Battersea Park. It's always been the same way. So that might well be Yvie Lock we're looking at in that Thames Valley Harriers kit. Fantastic result for her at the weekend, winning that women's. So I'll say she led them off on leg one, got them going to a terrific start, and she's just sitting in behind that lead group at the moment. I say lead group, that kind of male group, lead group for her, because she's leading the race. And can she hang on to them and just sit there? Because if she can, she's going to get a pretty good time out of this. Here's Locke. She looks very smooth, very efficient, and unlike a few of those men, may well have just paced things slightly better. So she was the fastest long leg at those road relays as well. 29.36 she ran there. She hasn't raced in 2024 bar the road relays, but a 16.19 5,000 metre PB. And you could argue she looks near enough back to that, because she's looking very smooth at the moment. She's 56. Is that Rebecca Johnson? It is, from Highgate. 16.18, so a very similar lifetime best over the 5k as Yvie Lock. She's in a great group at the moment, sitting with this large group of men who are just hurling her along as well. It's Naomi Taschimowitz of Shaftesbury Barnet as well, leading that group. 34.08, over 10k. She ran that the NA Hague Loop in the Netherlands, a regular abroad, 33.40 lifetime best. 15.54 over 5k, breaking that 16-minute barrier in 2018. So she's got the unfortunate job at the moment of leading a large group of men with Rebecca Johnson in there as well. So Yvie Lock, so all these lead women, they can all see each other at this stage in the race. They're eyeing each other up, so we got a good race on our hands. Three of them, all within about 200 metres, well, about 50 metres or so. Just settling in. This is the kind of the quiet part of a 10k, the patient part of a 10k, where you've just got to relax. You're kind of on that threshold. You're feeling quite good at this stage, but you know you've got a long way to come. And boy, then it just changes. It just hits you.
Careful of the post.
You go from feeling smooth, feeling relaxed, to being like, I've got absolutely nothing left in the tank. And it'll be interesting if we will see any moves from these elite women, from Naomi up front at the moment in that Shaftesbury Barnet vest. Will she look to push things on? She's eager now. She's sitting there, but she just hasn't got anyone for company, anyone to kind of help her out. Well, she must be looking up the road now. She's looking at Yvie Lock. She's going, blimey, can I just latch onto that group? It would be ideal if she could, because Yvie Lock is just being dragged around, dragged away from Naomi at this point. As we file our way through, terrific number of athletes out here today, all striving for a personal best. Some of them prepping for the big dance next weekend, the London Marathon. Some of them off the back of the 12 stage for their club. Some of them preparing for a track season. We may even see them at the Comeback 5000 in 2 weeks' time as well. Victoria Park and Tower Hamlets. Looking very smooth. One of these chase groups as we work our way back up to the front. Just pockets of men littered around Battersea Park, things you love to see. 2 laps down, 2 laps to go. The sound of carbon races on a Friday night. My kind of party. So just over 20 minutes on the clock for that first wave. This elite wave, 15 minutes on the clock so far. Like I said, at this pace, these leaders well on their way to be inside 30 minutes. A few cottage runners out here, Horsham Blue Star as well. Herne Hill at it. And we ask the question, is it still Freddie, Hessian and Aiden Lennon of the Southampton distance runners up front? Well, we sure as hell hope so. Like I said, pockets of men all round Battersea Park. Very smooth at this pace. The 5k marker for a lot of them. They'll know they've got just over 2 laps to go by this point. And we keep an eye on the front end of the race. It's still Hessian, it's still Leonard. And that chase pack. Tom Butler hanging on. Terry Fawden's made a break in 3rd place as well. Tom Austin isolated on his own. But the top 3 you're starting to look at, you're starting to think it could be sealed by this stage. But a lot can change in a 10k, it really can. You at home know that, I know that. As these men just take a few more corners than they're used to compared to when they're out here for the 2.5 lap dash for the 5k. Can confirm it was still Yvie lot looking very good, leading that women's race for now. Start to try and give you, here's that chase group, Hugo Donovan in there, Rob Wilson.Highgate. These boys just settling into their rhythm, starting to ask questions of themselves, starting to remind themselves of those K repeats, those 80, 90 mile weeks banked. That preparation, how bad do they want it at this stage? They're just working together. They've got to stay in sync, stay in stride. So, Tom Butler looks to have moved himself into 4th. He is on the shoulder of Terry Fawden. And we're going to roll past Tom Austin now as well. But Lennon and Hessian are going to enjoy this stage of the race. They're chasing down that wave 1. The race organisers thought that might be a nice marker for them to work off. Not only will they kind of clear the course, if you like, but they'll just be there. Something to aim at. When you're at the front of the race, it's hard to keep it honest, to keep it rolling. But they're able to do just that. And lap runners, you can use them to your advantage if you're clever, if you're smart enough. You can weave round them. You can get a gap, you can disguise yourself, you can hide. But at the moment, there's absolutely no hiding here. Lennon now, up front. Hessian will enjoy this, and this is a bit of a, unless Lennon's feeling really, really good, this is a bit of a rogue move from him. He's a slower man on paper. He's a slower man over 5k on recent season's best and personal best as well. But he's not going to mess around here. So Fawden, good steeplechaser on his day. This is a good bit of strength work for him. So early on, he'll be keying in a few dates. He may even be keying in that steeplechase mile at his arch rivals, Iffley Road. Will he post a good time there? He'll be preparing for a sum up for a British Champs qualifier, have no doubt about that. And Tom Butler, another London lad, another local lad.
What's the post?
North of the river though, his base, his club. And these two are just, Butler will sit on him. He's hard to shift. He's like a leech sometimes. You can't shift him. So all you want to do, and he'll hang and hang and hang. He'll give 110% before you break him. And he'll still come back with a vicious kick as well. I've seen it many times before. That's the kind of athlete you're dealing with. And, well, Lennon and Hessian exchanging the lead multiple times up front as they weave themselves around the park, weave themselves around the lap runners. And I think Hessian now is starting to decide, as we just drift away from Fawden and Butler, that's a battle for third place that we're going to keep an eye on over this final lap here in Battersea Park. So they've got just over a lap to go. And those two London boys looking very strong, squeezing it at this stage. What's it, 20 minutes on the clock. They're both on for sub 30 minutes if they can keep that rolling. And this is going to be epic. The very first 10-kilometre race here in Battersea Park. Hessian and Lennon, and if they break that 30-minute mark, well, it starts to put this race on the map from not just a 5k perspective, but also a 10-kilometre perspective. I know that's something Ben Node and Keith will be very happy with. And to be brutally honest, I see it being more conducive for 10-kilometre races. It's a lovely lap circuit. The turns aren't quite as aggressive when you're comparing it to a 5k and the speed you're running at. And one thing they've also got to their advantage here is the daylight. Often this is a lovely winter's glow. The street lamps are lit. A warm lighting on a cold winter's night. But today, far from that. Spring has sprung. And these two up front are looking very sprightly at this stage in the race. So Hessian 5 form Cambridge half marathon victory. What, 4 or 5 weeks ago now. Inside 65 minutes. Another impressive run as well in that race. Nick Torry, 48 years of age and 66 minutes half marathon runner. Talk about longevity, talk about fresh legs still at the age of, E45. Must be one of the best in the game. So Lennon having a very strong race indeed. He's got to stick to his task now. He's got to back himself. He's got to believe, because we're coming up to a lap to go here in the park. Friday night under the lights. No lights here today. Just a flash from these two. And Hessian, I'm just worried for Lennon. Did he just sort of squeeze it? Did he go to the front a little bit too early? He must be. This is where, as an athlete, your mind starts to play tricks on you. You start to see how strong you are mentally. Can you measure your effort? Can you judge it all the way to the finish? Again, as they come past many of Club Runner here, all sharing the same circuit, out here pounding the road at the very same time. It is great to see. And running is a people sport. It's for everyone. And these two do it the best. So, coached by Steve Phillips down in Southampton. I know they do great training there. Kind of built from that old school model. Get out there and just run. There's no supplement for miles. That's the belief. And look, the proof is in the pudding. Look at Lennon at the moment. Look at the on-track night's best. Well, this could be a little bit of a tune-up, a warm-up, a familiarisation for Highgate, which is to come, what, in a month or so's time, 5-6 weeks. These two might be doing battle there again. Oh, we look forward to that. Another dance in London. But at the moment, Hessian's got the inside, he's got the shorter route. Psychologically, he'll enjoy that. And that half marathon strength perhaps just shining through. Lennon, for me, punching above his weight, showing he's in much better shape than that 14:35 he ran a few weeks ago. Just getting checked there behind that lap runner. Oh, but it's just a thing of beauty, isn't it? The efficiency, the smoothness of these gentlemen. And you wouldn't even believe they're running 4:48 mile pace, 3-minute Ks, just clipping them off. They look like they could be doing a tempo run in Battersea Park right now. They approach their final mile. They're going to see that sign, they're going to be searching for 2 kilometres to go, for 1 kilometre to go. They're inside the 2k marker, in fact. AK was long back. So again, side by side, still both full of running. Who's going to make that first move? Will it be decisive? Will it be a slower wind up? A turn of the screw? So Aiden v Freddie. Hessian v Lennan. Slightly different form, slightly different cadence. One trains here. One is a bit of an imposter in these parts. Both of them have a 5k personal best from these very pavements. Not giving each other an inch. Hessian, he decided to get out hard early on, gap the field. Lennon was the only man who was going to bridge that gap. And just looking a little bit further back, Tom Butler. He's gone round Terry Fawden. I said he's hard to shift. You can't shake him. He sits himself in third. He's gapped Fawden. He's looking very, very strong. And he's eyeing up Hessian and Lennon at the moment. He's 100 metres or so back. It might seem like a lot, but when we've still got over a kilometre to run, you can do some damage in that time. To gain 15 or 16, 20 seconds or so would be a tall order, but he is a fast finisher. He can close. Maybe that's the motivation Hessian and Lennon need. Neither of them wanting to show their cards at this point in the race. It's flown by. Just under 4 laps of this park. Slight breeze, but that's not a bad thing, to be honest with you. Just cooling these gentlemen down. It is a warm spring evening, 20 degrees or so here in the capital, in the shadows of the power station. Towering above them is Lennon, just in the shadows of Hessian at the moment. Hessian just giving a little turn, a little check back, just to say, oh, a bit of room through here, please. It gets busy, so we're going to see a dust up, a ding dong of the ages. The very first 10k here in the park. They've both done 5k, multiple occasions. Hessian, marathon background, half marathon background. Knows he's strong, knows he's in shape. I would have thought he'd be looking to squeeze it just to shake Lennon at this point. Oh my goodness, it's going to be an absolute dust up on this bandstand. And here goes Lennon. The ambulance is going, the lights are flashing. We're racing, ladies and gentlemen. This is it, and look, he's used it to his advantage. Lennon gaps Hessian. Frustrated or not, he's going to have to do something about it. He's going to have to hold on and keep that gap. But Lennon with the acceleration, he looks like he's got a little bit more running in at the moment. Tall, rangy figure. Fantastic stride as well. Eases round this turn. Well, if it was a 5k, they'd have 200 metres or so to go. Not tonight. They got a long straight of around about 500 metres. 28 minutes on the clock. Can they break 30? It's looking very likely they're going to need to go some though. Hessian back in touch on to Lennon. And that gap opened up to 10 metres or so. It is now nothing, it's not even an inch. Hessian on his heels, on his shoulder. And this is where I was talking earlier. You're going to have to use these lap runners to their advantage, make a break. And we've seen one move, it's like a boxer, isn't it? Just throwing punches, laying into one another at this stage in the race. But you need multiple moves if you're going to win a race. You can't just make the one and hope that's going to be enough. And Hessian responds. He sits on Lennon and he goes round him now and he gaps him at 5 metres. Lennon's got to stay tough. He's on for a fantastic time. He may well be on for a personal best. 28.55 on the clock with a few hundred metres to go round the bandstand. You've got to be light on your feet. You've got to be agile at this stage. Hessian's just that. And well, 4 laps ago he had this gap after 200 metres. He was then joined by Lennon. They were neck and neck for 4 laps, but now he's opened up the same gap he started with. Lennon's not done yet though. Can he respond at this stage? Hessian's going to need to keep it honest. 20 seconds on the clock. It's going to be awfully close to that 30-minute barrier at this stage. But the man in the Soar strip, repping the smooth, silky colours of Soar, has looked smooth and silky round the park tonight. He's got a lovely gap now. He checks back. 20 metres or so. Freddie Hessian, the man from Notts. 29.50, he'll look. He's going to go for 30. He's not interested in that. He's only interested in winning. He's won enough. He enjoys it. Freddie Hessian, Lennon all the way to the line as well. A second or two back. What a race from those two. A ding-dong in Battersea Park. An absolute slugfest. We'll keep an eye on third place. Tom Butler was in third for a large proportion of that race. The Shaftesbury man's going to be mixed in with that first wave, but he's going to be in third. And he's going to be just outside 30 minutes in 30.21. Fantastic run from him as well. Terry Fawden just fading back. Looks like the Kent AC man's come through for fourth. Fawden fading back into fifth place, but a solid run, no doubt. Had to do a lot of the work in the race. 30.39 for Fawden. Fantastic running from him. What an epic race at Battersea Park. Well, I'd love to say with a bit of a sunset, but no sun's here, overcast. But that was far from the performances we saw. Runners streaming across, getting great support from the public as well. The impact this has on the running community. Fantastic. John O'Beacon in the Oxford City colours as well. Great run from him. Up the city from the boys. Community backed. Performance results. So here she comes in, Yvie Lock. What a fantastic run from her. On the clock at the moment, 33.08. What a run from her. Yvie Lock, ladies and gentlemen, well, she's been in fine form. She really has. Fastest long stage leg at the road relays, and she backs it up a week later, just under the Thames Valley Harrier. What a result from her. We'll look for second place as well. And that is your first elite woman home. So no Rose Harvey. Yvie Lock takes the prize. Naomi Taschimowitz coming through from Shaftesbury Harriers as well. She's going to be inside 34 minutes, which is a huge run. A lifetime best for her. 33.44 from Naomi Shaftesbury Harriers. Well, she enjoyed that. She had the benefit of some fantastic groups out there as well. With the men, those pockets of men she could just run with. Sits on a Rebecca Johnson-Highgate Harrier. Crosses the line in 34.01. Oh, it's going to be awfully close. But a huge run from her as well. Your top three women, ladies and gentlemen. And that closes out Friday night under lights. 10K smash up.